Renee Nicole, and I am so excited because we are starting our first episode of the MBD Black Wealth series. And hey, our first guest is here.
Hey, girl.
Hi, best friend.
Hey, bestest friend in the whole wide world.
I'm so
Girl, you
excited.
doing it, girl. You double take. Double take.
Hey, girl.
We back.
Whew, I'm so excited.
Girl,
Not
me
only
too.
am I excited because, hold up, wait.
You're so silly.
Ghetto, okay? I didn't have all my lights on. Not
Girl.
only am I excited because I'm here with my best friend, Ebony Jamacia Melvin.
Period.
I don't know if you
Like
want your full government up there, but
don't put it out there. You know, people go on Maryland K search and find out some things. No. Just playing, guys.
we're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time. It's just us on the phone. Hey, Shay. You better talk and learn. So I'm excited because of that, and then I'm also excited because this is the very first of a new series for Name a Better Duo called Black Wealth.
The Black Wealth series. Giving my
I'm
coins
excited.
needs my coins.
Okay, we need it, and in this season, we have to seize the opportunity in front of us, and that opportunity is time, because many of us are home quarantined.
Yep.
And the opportunity is just with that time, the wealth of knowledge that is available to us. And
I'm calling it the COVID advantage. That's what I'm calling it.
You better, okay? Take advantage of this opportunity. And there's so much free knowledge out there, whether it be YouTube, whether it be good old Reverend Google, or it be my sister, Ebony, who is the author of an ebook called Get Money Like a Single Mom. She has just, in this ebook, yes, you better. Come on. Here, I got you.
Can you see that? My YouTube.
No, and that can be found on Fiverr. If you're not familiar, go to Fiverr, Fiverr. But she's sharing her story and her journey, and I think that that's one of the keys to growth is being transparent about some of the things that we've been through, so that other people can learn and grow from it as well. And you are doing just that. You're laying it all out there about your journey. To being able to do some of the things that you had on your vision board and your wish list. Now you're seeing those things come to fruition because of discipline, because of just gaining the knowledge, and we want to share that knowledge with our listeners today. Okay. So without further ado, go ahead and introduce yourself. I know I already introduced you, but just let them know who you is.
Hey y'all, I am Ebony Melvin, Renee's bestest friend in the whole wide world. And like she said, I just wrote an ebook about, being financially stable. I'm a single mom, and it's a lot, raising a child on your own and trying to keep your finances together. So that's what we're going to talk about today is how I saved up and how checking things and being obedient about my vision and my goals helped me, level up. Basically. Hey girl.
Hey, Morgan. Excuse me. Yes, I'm all the way here for it. A lot of us struggle in the area of savings, and that's why I wanted to talk about that today. And for you to not only be disciplined in that area, but still take care of my God, baby. I'm raising to being such a knowledgeable young man as well. It takes a lot of focus. So we're going to get focused, and we're going to get started with the conversation now. So We in November. Here we are near the end of 2020. Thank you, Lord. And Christmas is upon us. And even more important than saving for Christmas, a lot of us have short-term or long-term goals, whether it be to buy a house, which you are in the process of doing, whether it be to save for a business, a startup, whatever it may be. Tell us about your journey to financial freedom, and what led you to write this book, Get Money Like a Single Mom.
So I honestly was just thinking about, okay, so I was paying a bill off. Okay, I think it was like for my tires or something like that. And it just made me think about all of the bills that I've paid off and all the debt that I've paid off over the last few years. I had a real humbling moment in my life where I was a member of the military. I was in the Air Force, and that was my life. That was my lifeline, my financial stability for me and my son. And I was separated. I didn't want to get out the military, but I had to, with my body changing and everything. I just, I wasn't as physically fit as I could have been, being in the military. So I was devastated. I was heartbroken to get out of the military. I was like, what am I going to do? How am I going to take care of my son? At the time, I had a 2-year-old, and I was just not financially aware of anything besides I'm gonna get paid regardless, So that's what really made me write this, because I was like, I could probably help somebody, because with a whole lot of faith and obedience and determination, I was able to pull myself out of a lot of debt. I was in a lot of debt from making just little silly mistakes. So that's what really led me to write this, because I'm like, man, and truthfully, y'all, like, I had paid off that bill and stuff just started coming to me like, ooh, you paid that off because you did this and that and whatever. I wrote this ebook within, I think it took me all night, but I just could not stop writing. I was like, this is going to help somebody, So that's how Get Money Like a Single Mom came.
I love it. I love it because I feel like so many of us can relate to, we can sometimes become dependent on our jobs or whatever sense of security that we have. And then we find ourselves at a crossroads where we're like, oh, now what do I do? And you had to go through, like many of us, through that humbling experience, but you were able to pull yourself out of that pit. And I want to ask you first, well, just period. Starting from nothing can be discouraging. What are the first steps you would suggest to someone who is new to saving money?
Okay, so I got my little notes here. Okay, so I put, before you start saving, you really should assess the damages. How much money do you owe? How much are you spending each month? Money going to things that matter, or are you throwing your money away? So what you don't want to do before you start saving is put too much money in your savings account to the point where you're always dipping in it and pulling it out of your savings account to try to pay off bills or whatever. You want to make sure you prioritize. Pay your bills first. And then see, okay, do I have room to put $10 in my savings account this week? $30, $5, $1, 50 cents, something. You got to start somewhere. And I'm telling you, when you start saving and you see that, okay, I do have a little bit of room to save, it's going to make you save more and change even more things, because then you're going to start having the saver's mindset. Because when you have a saver's mindset, that means, okay, I like what I'm seeing in my bank account and I don't want it to move, So yeah, so that's the main thing. A tip that I have is try to split your bills in half, especially if right now you feel like some people might have a really high car note. I try to pay the car note half before I pay when it's due. So it's basically like, okay, my car note's not due right now, but I have the extra money. No, that's not extra money. That's money you could put towards your car note. That way, when payday comes, or when the due date comes, there's no problem. and you still have a little bit of extra money left over to do whatever else you need to do. So it's just, little things like that that'll help you. Like, okay, this is already on time. How can I split this, to make sure that it'll continue to get paid on time? And also by splitting that car note, you have an extra payment at the end of the year. So you're going to pay your car off faster by doing that. So
That's a word. Those are good tips. I can't stand. Look at Platinum J. Dollar Tree got everything on the
ignore
logo.
him. That's my bad. They sure do.
Those are good tips though, because before I eliminated a lot of bills by moving back home, I used to do that a lot where I would, because most times we have one check that's like the rent check, or one check where like majority of it, or if not all of it, is going towards bills. But if you use that other check rather than like, oh, I got a free check, no, be disciplined and pay your card note, or use that extra money to pay off something. Like you said, you can find yourself paying it off early, and you can start putting money aside. Another thing that you said that was really key is to just be rational. I think a lot of time we listen to these different educational tools, and they may say save 30% of your income, pay yourself first. But what you need to do is save on your level. We don't always have that level of income yet. Save on your level until you get more discipline, because what can happen is you find yourself not meeting that mark, and then you get discouraged and you don't save at all. But if you can just save on your level, like you said, once you see that number increase, and you're going to be like, maybe I can put a little bit more. Maybe I can sacrifice Starbucks. Maybe I can sacrifice that pair of shoes and put that in a savings account, because it's getting bigger, and you won't want to keep pulling from it for emergencies and things like that, or non-emergencies. So yeah, I love that. Good points. What are some key tools to resisting the temptation for unnecessary spending? Can you hear me?
The number one key tool for me is look at your bank account. Can you hear me? You got
Yeah.
me? Okay. So the number one key tool for me is looking at my bank account. Is there enough zeros in there? Is there enough money in there for me? No. If it's not the amount that you want in your bank account, why are you spending frivolously? You know what I'm saying? That's the main thing. And then another thing is, have you paid your bills this month? Is anything coming due? Do you have any medical emergencies that you need to take care of? Dental, children, they get sick all the time. You got your copay, so before you go spending on things you don't really need, think about that. Think about, first of all, do I have enough money to pull out where I won't be penny pinching and mad that I spent this money? Okay. So that's what you want to do. You want to assess what you have to spend money on, what bills you have to pay. Take care of things first. Take care of yourself first. Things in the store that can wait.
Because you want to protect yourself if you're already in a rut from getting deeper into one, or just to avoid it all out, So I feel like what happens is once we get into this situation, it's hard to climb out. But the more that we can do to avoid putting ourselves in a bad situation, the better. So just, you don't need it. Think about, what I like to do is I like to leave it on the shelf. And if I come back to it, if I have the capital to come back to it, then I will. But if you can walk away from it, and then the next day, oftentimes you'll notice, I didn't really need that. I didn't even need that. I want to share this thought from Shopman's Shoes. Hey, for me, if I have a goal, I'll think about how that money could be applied towards that goal. Then it doesn't even feel good anymore. It works for me. It works for me too. Good tips. What would you recommend, and we kind of talked about this in the beginning of the convo, what would you recommend to someone whose monthly bills outweigh their income? Can you hear me? Internet don't want us to win. Wi-Fi don't want us to win. Can you hear me? We frozen. Am I unfrozen?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I'm like, what is going on? We was
Okay,
good earlier.
it's all good. I said, what would you recommend to someone whose bills outweigh their income? Their bills outweigh their income. Can you hear me? Can
Yeah,
you hear
so
me?
we did touch on that a little
Okay.
bit where I was talking about pretty much what I do with my car note. I try to split the note in half. That way, you kind of trick yourself into thinking that you have a little bit more money, a little bit more leeway. But also to do that, you kind of got to get ahead a little bit. Just make sure you keep paying on time. That way you're able to split it up and pay beforehand. Also, you got to increase your income, you know, try to figure out what, does your job offer overtime? Can you take a job at a retail store or something like that to help you until to stack your money up a little bit until you can get back on track? And like that, yeah. Especially increasing your income. That's what's really going to change the narrative for you. Because when you have more money coming in,
Listen,
once again, that ain't your spending money. That's your money so you can get ahead, so you can save something.
it is hustle season. I feel like we have to learn the art of the side hustle. I feel like any wealthy person has multiple streams of income coming in. That's actually what next week's topic is going to be. So you have to find your skills and capitalize off of those skills, whether it be doing
Mm-hmm.
hair on the side, whether it be doing nails or, starting an online business. I've been looking into Amazon selling and, they're finding stuff in your house, selling it on eBay. Like
Me
there's
too.
so many different ways for you to bring in revenue. And like you said, it's so important not to lose sight of the goal. The goal is to save. The goal is to pay off these bills. If you're, not in this instance, you're not making enough to pay your bills with your 9 to 5, then that's where that money needs to be going. And we like to talk, I'm sure we'll touch on this too. I like to pay Jesus first. So pay my tithes, my 10% first, and then I always just end up with more than enough because of my discipline. It takes discipline, but when you want something,
and that's very powerful right there. That's a whole nother conversation.
it's a fact, okay? It's a fact. How can we make saving fun? How can we make saving fun?
How do you make saving fun? Saving isn't fun. I'm just kidding.
True.
Okay,
Yeah.
so here's something that I just love. This is my vision board. And it basically just has like my short term and long term goals on it. And to me, I just love it because I just wake up every morning and just pretty much self affirm like I can do this. I'm not going to overspend, I'm going to budget, I'm going to follow my goals. And that's something really fun to me. You can put pictures up. I like to check off when I've done something that I said I'm gonna do. And to me, that's fun because it's like, oh, okay, I could go back and see that it's just like the end of a workout. You don't ever want to do it, but when you're done, you always feel good about it. So to me, that's fun. Saving money is fun because you're gonna have more money in your bank account. And who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want that? But the vision board, so much fun. Go to Target, get it for like $5.
Yeah.
Maybe a little
No,
more at
that's
Target.
I like to treat savings like a game, like to see, I put myself, I write it out, like you said, whether it be on a vision board or in my planner. I have a monthly budget in my planner. and I look at it just about every day. And sometimes I wake up thinking about it, and that's something I'm trying to chill out on. But but yeah, I like to look at it every day, and then, like you said, look at my accounts. I'm constantly checking my accounts, and just seeing those numbers grow is really exciting for me. It becomes like a game for me. So I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
easier said than done when you're like in that part of the savings game where you have nothing. But just like, for instance, one of the things I used to do was I would have $25 taken from my check and put directly in my savings account. After a while, you don't even see it, and usually pretty early on, you don't even feel that $25. You don't even see it, and then you look at your account, and you
Exactly.
know you didn't save a few dollars. So that's one of the ways that you can make it fun. What are some recommendations for starting a budget, like programs we can use, or what categories should we include?
So somebody in the comments said that they use the Acorn app. That's actually a really good that's for or difference between, like, I don't know, if you spend like $8.67, they put the 67 cents and saving something like that. They have a lot of apps like that. Acorn, Mint, I believe they're all free to join. But I'm kind of old school. I write everything down. In my book. I just have a little chart, a real old school chart. You can make your own. Can y'all see that? But pretty much, it's just like a Excel spreadsheet. You just have your monthly bills, the amount due, one-time debts. Like if you have anything in collections, which none of us have that. And then other expenses like medical bills. You need some new tires. You got to get an oil change, something like that. You just want to pretty much map out where your money's going. And not only that, most of us have online bank accounts because most jobs require, direct deposit anyways. So your online banking is a good tool because a lot of them have some type of analysis or some type of graph or budget tool that helps you put everything in. And don't nobody know how much you spend in better than your bank account, better than your bank service provider. So take advantage of those tools. You can call the representative and ask them like, hey, this is saying I'm spending this much on this, but I really spent it on that. And they can really walk you through like where your money really is going and offer tips and different accounts on where you can put your money besides just your checking. Yeah, so it's a lot of information out there as far as electronic budgeting. And then there's this one tip, it's kind of old school also, but taking out cash is a really good idea for when you want to pay for certain things. They call it the envelope method, where it's basically you taking out cash for certain things, you writing on the envelope, this is for this is for that, and once that money's gone, it's gone. Ain't no need to swipe your card, none of that. And I know we living in a world where everything's so electronic. A lot of stores don't even take cash anymore. But for the stores that do, take advantage of that. Take the cash out. That way you know exactly how much money you're spending every time.
I just started doing that, like just started doing that, and I feel like for me, I never wanted to because I hated having cash on me. I felt like I could lose it, but it really, really helps you stay on a budget, because I feel like once we have a card, you just start swiping, it's just convenient. And then you lose sight of the things that you bought, or sometimes a bill will come out that you forgot about. So if you already budget in the way where your automatic withdrawals are put in your account, once you get paid, you keep that amount in your checking account, but then take out cash, what you plan on spending, that really, really helps you stay focused on that goal. So I love that tip. What are some, well, we already talked about that. We kind of talked about this part too. Do you recommend treating yourself every now and then if you've been consistently disciplined in your spending? And I say that because, like with nutritionists will tell you that it's okay to have a cheat day or a cheat meal, not necessarily a cheat day, because otherwise we'll binge eat. We'll have one bad meal and just go crazy. Do you think it's important that we have every now and then treat ourselves?
Oh yeah, one thing about being free in Jesus Christ is we are not a slave to nothing and nobody. And you don't want to be a slave to your finances, because then you feel like, I gotta pay this first, or I gotta do this first. But don't think about it like that. Just think about the positive. Like, you know what? If I pay this first, then I'll have this amount of money left over. So maybe I'll take my son out to McDonald's for lunch. Or, I've been really eyeing these shoes. They went on sale. Let me go ahead and get these shoes because I got enough money left over, because I've been having the saver's mindset and got enough in my bank account to do that. So yes, absolutely treat yourself, because, we live in a happy life. We don't want to be miserable in anything we do. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely treat yourself. Treat yourself. Just don't go overboard. Just like, everything comes back to, we keep talking about health and dieting because we on this health kick too. But, it's just like that, have a cheat day or a cheat taste, whatever you call it. But don't overdo it, because then you're going to set yourself back maybe even further than where you were before. And you don't want to do that. We're moving ahead. We're leveling up. We're not going backwards. We're going forward. Okay, so yeah, treat yourself. Don't cheat yourself.
Come on. The key word that you said that I heard out of what you said is sell. Okay, because we talking about treating yourself.
Things on sale, people. Please.
Don't.
Please.
I'm not saying treat yourself to a Birkin. Okay, I'm saying treat yourself to something within the budget, unless you on that level. But ain't nothing wrong with.
Listen.
We talking about black wealth today. I'm tired of making these white businesses rich. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like, we out here wasting our money on Gucci and on all these other things. If I am not supporting a black business, I don't need it. Or if I am going to one of these companies, then I'm gonna go to Ross or Marshalls. Okay, somewhere where I can get me a pair of sneakers for $29.99. Okay, and they say it's not the clothes, but it's the person in the clothes. Okay, so I'm gonna make them look good regardless.
That's the word. Say so. Say so. Because that's what it really is.
It starts with you. It starts with building confidence in you, and stop putting confidence in labels. It's in you. Go ahead.
Come on, somebody.
What were you about to say? I'm sorry.
That was a word. That was a word. Girl, I don't know. That was a word though, but yeah. It's like, I'm supporting my brother right now, Platinum J, he got his dance stuff going on. But we gotta support each other, and and just be careful with our spending. Support your friends without buying things also. Share their store with somebody. Share their IG story, share a picture on your Instagram account. You got a lot of followers. Tell somebody about it. That's supporting too. That's supporting too. So.
And you don't have to keep up with the Joneses. Like, you can rock what's on your level. And like you said, if you can't support your friends monetarily, then support them by posting it, or support them by leaving a review or whatever you can do. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of us are saving for certain goals, whether it be, like we said, saving for a house, or whether it be saving for, we want to pay cash for a new car, things like that. And it can be, once we reach that goal, or even, like, say we have a Christmas goal or vacation goal. Once we reach it, it can be easy to fall off track. Like, okay, I did it. I met that number. Now I'm just going to spend this extra money that I'm making on whatever I want. How would you encourage listeners to just keep going and to surpass their goals for savings?
Okay, so after you've reached your goals for saving, I'm telling you, you're going to be a totally different person. Your mind is not going to be the mindset that you had before. You're going to be moving different. You know how they say when people get rich, they start looking different and acting different. It's true. And, like they say, it's lonely at the top. You know what I mean? You might have to pull people.
And We're going to talk more finance, more business.
You might have to pull people out of your life. You might, everything you used to do might have to go out the window. You know, maybe not forever, but maybe for a little while. You know, so your mindset is going to be totally different. So because you've stopped spending on things, you're not going to see a need for that thing anymore. You know, finances, you know, to get to a positive place financially, your life kind of has to get to a good place also. You know what I'm saying? You might have to break that bad habit of seeing that man or that woman. You might have to stay in the house this weekend because the things your friends do, you don't do that anymore. You know, they might spend $400 on a table or something we used to do back in the day, but now we don't do that anymore. You know, so it's really about humbling down and being like, okay, does this line up with goals? Does this line up with my short-term goal? Does this line up with my long-term goal? You know, you just got to think your increased income is going to lead to your increased credit score, which is going to lead to you being able to get more credit. You know, that's going to keep your score high. You know, you're automatically going to put yourself in a gainful situation. You know, so you're going to meet your goal, but you're going to surpass it because, you know, you're not giving things around you a choice. You know, you're not giving yourself a choice but to be successful by changing, you know, a few things for a little while. You know, it just turns into a lifetime thing. It really does. You know, why would you want to go back to being broke or back to a penny pension?
Right. No. I love what you said too. You've mentioned it a few times about having a savings mindset. And that's what it's all about. I feel like getting disciplined in finances it has to become a mindset. It can't just be a temporary thing. I'm in this situation now and I need this temporary fix. No, it has to be a mindset that once I build more capital, once I get to a new level in finances, that I'm going to continue with this mindset. And it's not even like I'm continuing to think that I'm broke, but in a way you are. You want to live like you still are. You know, don't let your expenses grow just because your finances grow. You know, treat it as if you're still making that $40,000 or however many, and you'll see that you'll be able to build more assets. And that's the goal, is to be able to build more assets, because this thing is, we're talking about wealth. We're talking about generational wealth, then we're talking about things that are beyond our lifetime, you know, and cars, shoes, all these things that don't appreciate are not beyond our lifetime. It's the properties, it's the stocks, it's our investments. Those are the things that we're going to be able to pass down to our children. But if we're just in the mindset of the right here, right now, trying to keep up with the Joneses and splurge and show this and that, what are you leaving? You know, and what legacy are you leaving? So that's what it's about. That's
Girl,
what
you
it's
better
about. Okay.
read. But yeah, that is what it's about. And especially, you know, my heart is set on, you know, single women raising children by themselves, because that's, you know, that's what I live, you know. And my son, I just want different from my son. I don't want him to see me struggling. Now, granted, life ain't perfect. He might see me struggle a little, whatever, but not to the point to where it's affecting him, you know? So, you know, the goal is just to be better. If you've seen some things growing up, whatever, you don't have to live the life that your parents lived, or, you know, treat kids how your parents treated, you know, you. Not saying that everything was bad, but, you know, how can you grow from your situation? You don't ever want to be a victim of things that happened before, or how people handled finances in your family before. You know, you could change the narrative. We talking generational here, like you said. Change the narrative. Be the one to be like, you know what? The line stops here. We're going to draw the line and we're going to do something different, because my son is going to grow up to know what to do with his money. You know, so I think it's just very important. in these times to just raise our children up maybe a little different.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's about, forgetting what happened in the past and just picking up the needle from here, because it's like what our, our parents or our, ancestors did before us is behind us. We are now given so many more tools than they had. I feel like each generation gets a
Mm-hmm.
little better, and we have access to much more now than they did. And so we need to take advantage of that so that the next generation after us has a head start. That's how white people win. They set up their
Yeah.
children with a head start, nepotism at its finest, But I feel like that is the key, and we are taking those steps, and that's why I wanted to have this conversation, to just figure out how can we do that? How can we win too? We want a piece of the pie too. Okay. We're gonna play this
Yeah.
game. It's called the money game. And it kind of feels like those math problems we used to get like on our SATs, but we're gonna have fun with it, okay? So it's called the money game. So I'm
I
gonna
did
give you a
horrible on my
scenario.
SAT.
Child, I did horrible on math. I had to take remedial math, so this is all you, boo. This is all you. I'm gonna give you a scenario. The first and the last ones are scenarios, and you're gonna tell us what would be in our best interest to do in the scenario. And then the second one is kind of like some stuff we already touched about. So the first one, are you ready? First of all, to play the money game.
I'm
Ain't no money
ready.
in this game. Look, ain't no money in this game. I ain't got nothing for you. But all right. So the first
I ain't
question.
ready no more then. I thought I was getting some points out of this.
But the people are gonna make money from it, from your wisdom. Okay.
Mm.
So we helping the people right now.
It's about the people.
It's
Okay.
about the people.
It's about the
All
people.
right. Number one. Okay. So we got Tiffany, right? Tiffany's car note is due. It's $350,
Mm.
which will leave her with $80 until her next paycheck. You got these numbers? 350, 80. So she'll have 80 left, right? After she pays her 350 till her next paycheck. The day before she makes the payment, her car breaks down. She has a mechanic come check it out, and they tell her it'll be $400. What should Tiffany do?
Yikes. What you mean she only gonna have $80 left after paying 350 and to fix the car is 400? It's just not adding up.
It
Look,
be
okay,
like that
so
though.
that is how it be. That is how it be, but it don't have to be. It don't have to be. Okay, so firstly, I'm hoping Tiffany got some car insurance with a low deductible, you know. So instead of going to a homeboy down the street, maybe actually call your insurance people, get that rectified.
Get a new car.
Is low enough to pay. Um, and if she, are we back?
We back. I was like, I'm gonna act like I
Okay, we
heard
back.
you.
Okay, Tiffany. Okay, so Tiffany needs to call her insurance company or something, and hopefully she got a low deductible. But even with that, she might have to wait to get her car fixed. Even though, she needs a new car or her car needs to be fixed, whatever, she's gonna have to wait. Um, she could call her financer for her car to see if maybe they could put an extension for her car note, or maybe even have the bill that's due moved to the end, which is something that they do if you're an on-time payer. Um, and then maybe, I don't think I mentioned this before, but to get your finances in order, it's really important to have a support system. you know Maybe there's somebody that could take her to work, pick her up and drop her off for a couple weeks while she gets her finances in order. So that's what Tiffany should do. Hopefully, if the insurance situation ain't really gonna work out for her, and she really, because first of all, what's $80? You can't do nothing with $80. Maybe it's just her by herself and she live with her parents. Then maybe she'd be all right. If she's on her own and only got $80 and still got rent and all that, she gonna have to make some phone calls and get some support, to figure that out. But there is a way. There's always a way. There's always a way. Call your most reliable person. Ask them like, hey, can you drop me off at work? I'll work with your time. Things like that. That's what Tiffany could do. And Tiffany gonna have to increase her income soon because that car note is obviously too high for her if she only has $80 left.
That's
good. $80 is gas money.
That's so good. No, I think that a lot of people are ashamed or afraid to call the bill collectors, but you'd be surprised how many of them are willing to work with you, especially right now. Especially in light of COVID. I know in the industry I was last in, we worked with a lot of people, but we wouldn't unless they reached out to us, So it just takes you making the phone call, letting them know this is where I'm at. Can I pay at the end of the month? Or making the phone call. I'm like, look, I need a ride for 2 weeks. I get paid in 2 weeks, and then I can pay to get this car fixed. Or ask around, get a second opinion. There might be a local mechanic who will be willing to do it for $200. You never know. So it just takes communicating. I feel like so many of us are bad communicators. We're afraid to communicate what we're going through, and we'll stay in a bad situation rather than find a way. And when you at that point, you got to do what you got to do to find a way,
Yeah.
So come on, Tiffany, get that second stream of revenue, okay, Tiffany?
Yeah, and I have to say, I went through a situation like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. I have to say, I went through a situation like that where, my car was jacked up. Y'all, I had a BMW. BMW was smoking, okay? BMW was smoking in a new. So I had to basically ask my dad, like, hey, Dad, can you take me to work for a while until I could get this situation with my car together? And, luckily he's open armed. Of course, I'll take you to work. Everybody doesn't have that luxury, but if you can get around some people that you trust, that you can rely on, that'll help you greatly until you can get back on your feet, into a stable situation for yourself.
For sure. And I think we need to be doing more things like that. I think that people, I think our community struggles sometimes with like helping each other without, just helping each other. Like we should be carpooling, like coworkers. If you live near each other, right now a lot of people aren't going to work. But this is the time, save that gas money. Now that you're not driving to work, that gas money could be going into your savings account or wherever else your investment accounts or whatever else you're using to save. So just be smart, especially in these times with the extra money that you may be getting, putting it aside or not just splurging and spending. What you got to spend on? You ain't going nowhere. Okay, next question. What should we do before online shopping? Are there apps we should be using? How do we make sure we stay within our budget, etc.? Yeah, technical difficulty. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Did you hear the question?
Can you hear me? I did not.
Okay. I said, what should we be doing before we online shop? Are there apps we should be using?
Okay, so before we online shop, we touched on. Okay, so first of all, you need to assess your damages and stuff beforehand before you do any shopping. You know, did you pay your bills? Do you have anything coming due before you do any shopping? Okay. Um, but you know, like we said before, coupon. Look for some coupons. Look for some sales. You know, that designer stuff you like. Shut up, James. So,
I'm sorry.
can y'all hear me?
Guys, I'm sorry. I can't stand my cousin and your brother because they got me cracking up.
We talk business, and here you come with the rah rah. They're real ignorant. We can't do nothing professional.
We can't. Black folk. We try.
Y'all hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me.
I knew this was gonna happen at some time in this episode. With me and you, we can't go nowhere without this happening. He said my
husband with me too.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Real tears. Real tears. How you give me a thumbs down, but you heard
good talk.
me
Good talk. They know.
This is terrible, y'all. When I get my new house, the Wi-Fi gonna be popping.
Hey, thank you, Shay. Thank you.
We good?
What should we do before we go on our shopping?
All right, we good? You got me, BFF? Okay. So before shopping online, we want to make sure that we paid all those. You know, we want to make sure we don't have anything upcoming or due. And then also shop the sales. Almost everything goes on sale, is on sale, about to be on sale. I use an app called Dosh. And Dosh, basically, if you log into the app, it has all these different stores you can shop from. And it'll be like Walmart is giving 10% cash back today. And once you shop there through the app, your money comes in right then and there. You know, right now I think I got $12 sitting in my Dosh account, and that's awesome. That's play money right there, $12. You know, so yeah, use apps like Dosh. I know there's an app that you use. Your face is stuck.
I just spelled Dosh for y'all. Am I frozen? So yes, you use Dash, which is great. I'm gonna start. We gotta stop acting like we on FaceTime. There's people here. We have an audience. Okay, act right. Dash is a good one. I use Top Cashback. And with Top Cashback, same thing. It takes a little bit, maybe a week or so for the money to apply, but you can also use that money towards an Amazon gift card or a Visa gift card. And usually when you select one of those options, you get a little bit more. They might give you like 5% more or something, or 1% or something of your purchase. So that's always a good tool to use. But yes, definitely, first of all, put yourself on a budget. Like you said, if you're taking money out that you're going to be spending, leave in the amount of money that you're planning on spending online so that you're not overspending. But just leave that amount. And like you said, use these apps. I use my computer now more so, because I have Honey on there as well. Honey is another one. It'll check everywhere for any coupons. It'll check where you're shopping to see if there's any coupons or if it's cheaper somewhere else. So that's a good tool as well. All right, y'all. We're not gonna make it through this. We got one more question, and then we're gonna wrap it up. This has been a very, very good Wealth of knowledge, Ebony. Okay, last question. Last scenario. Okay, so Rob had an unexpected birthday party to attend for his sister-in-law. We're talking about Rob now, okay? No relation to Tiffany. Rob had an unexpected birthday party to attend for his sister-in-law. He decided to pull from his emergency fund to buy her a $50 gift. He still has money in his savings account as well as his emergency fund. What was that the right move?
It's a no for me because emergency funds are just that, for emergencies. You know, like, you can't be, why would you dip into your emergency fund for your sister-in-law's birthday party that was unexpected? You know, like,
but it's a sister-in-law.
Unexpectedly not getting you a gift. No, my presence is a present. My presence is a present. I got you back on payday. Because if he don't have, you know, what's up with his checking account? Do he got anything in there?
We don't know.
That's what I need to know. Because what we're not going to do is dip into the emergency fund. Because next thing you know, something happened, and then you mad at your sister-in-law because you didn't spend $50 on her gift. He better call in sick. I'm sick. I can't go to the party. Or just show up. Just, stop fronting. You know what? That's what you got to do. Stop fronting. There's a lot of people out here trying to impress other people or thinking, ooh, I got to go get this present for this party. Trust and believe. Some good people, they're not worried about no present you bring into their party. Because if it's unexpected, it's probably a surprise party anyway. She ain't know she was getting a party, let alone a gift. So stop fronting, go show love, dap her up, and keep it moving. Keep your $50 in your emergency fund account. And for real, that's real.
And that's coming from Pastor E herself. No, honestly, when I first, heard and wrote the question, I was like, okay, he still has money left over in his emergency and his savings account. So what's $50? But like you said, the key word is emergency. Her birthday come around every year, okay? Every year. So if you haven't budgeted already, first of all, you need to write her birthday down on the calendar. I don't know if they just recently got married. I don't know. But you need to write her birthday down on the calendar so you can always keep that in mind. Get a little alert, put it on your phone calendar. If she's on Facebook, it should already come up on your calendar because I'll be getting alerts about people I ain't talked to in 10 years. And if not, if you weren't prepared for it, like you said, a card will do just fine. They 50 cents at Dollar Tree. Who talked about Dollar Tree earlier? It's a word. You're right.
Platinum.
You're completely right. 50 cents, okay? And she will be just as happy. Yeah. And you don't even know her like that. Clearly, you didn't know what her birthday was. Like, you don't even know what she likes. You know what you buying her.
He probably don't even like her. He probably don't even like her. Like, cut it out. Stop fronting. Let's stop playing around. We're not playing games in 2020. We don't like you. We're not buying gifts. We're not going to your party. You know what I'm saying? I could be at home under a blanket saving my money. Dave Chappelle, money. Mine. I'm gonna keep it.
No, that's so true. Like, we don't have to show off. We don't gotta keep up with the Joneses. I keep saying it, but it's facts. And get creative. Get creative. Look around your spare room or wherever else and see what you got that you can put in a gift bag and take to this party if you have to go. Anyway,
make a gift basket. Every Black household got a few baskets. Make a basket.
I always got something. If I have to, like, in a bind, go somewhere to somebody's birthday shindig, I always got something I can put together real quick. And it's going to be like, ooh, it's going to be sparkling. Or you know what? Another cheap, depends on what you're drinking, but wine. I'm big on bringing somebody a bottle of wine. You get a bottle of wine for $12, So
make sure they drink though. Some people don't be drinking. Yeah. Make sure they drink so they ain't looking at you like.
Make sure they not like recovering or you're right. Anyway, I knew this was gonna be a lot of fun because this is my best friend and this is how we talk all the time on FaceTime. We're around each other. It's just stupidity. But I hope that you got something from this. I hope that you are just being more mindful with your money and the resources that God has blessed you with. When you put value on your dollars, and realize that it's God and a gift to you, you will just be more mindful of what you do with it. So, at the forefront of all I do is Jesus. So, if you have a connection with him, let him orchestrate where your money goes and be smart about it. And sometimes he'll shift what my plans are with my money. And I'm just like, but he always provides. So when he tells you to do something, he'll provide a way. Thank you so much, Ebony, for your time. Thank you for these valuable, valuable tips. I learned a lot. I'm sure our listeners learned a lot. Get you a vision board. Write down your goals. Make attainable goals we talked about. And yes. And make it pretty. Make it something you want to look at so that you are looking at it on a daily basis. A lot of people like to ignore their accounts. Look at your accounts on a daily basis so that you are aware of what's in there, because sometimes things come out and you don't even realize it, and now all of a sudden you got to withdraw overdraft fee. So make sure you are doing that. Please, everybody pay attention to Ebony's vision board. Please stop what you're doing and look. No, but it's a beautiful thing. Once you see that money rising, you're just going to want to keep going, and you're going to start researching more ways that you can invest. And we're going to talk about investing later on in this series. But thank you again. And go to Fiverr, Fiverr, and go to follow Get Money Like a Single Mom. Hold on. Go follow her there. Is that right? Does that look about right? And download the ebook. It's very valuable, even if you aren't a single mom, or if you're a single dad, or if you're just, ain't got no kids. It's still a really, really good resource on how to go from nothing to something, and how to just, be smarter about what we are doing with our finances. So thank you, best friend. I love you.
I love you too, best friend. Look, I have to say something, okay? First of all, thank you for having me on this. I am so honored. I love you so much. And I'm just very proud of you for your consistency with Name a Better Duo and then starting this new series. Like, please, somebody clap for my best friend. Come on, 2020 has been a lot on all of us. And for you to take this project on and just be, I don't know, it's just bomb. It's inspiring. And it's so, I just love it. And I can see the happiness that it brings you every time, we do our Jesus talks on Fridays. So I was just so happy. I just felt so special. I was like, me, the first guest, So I'm so proud of you. I love you. And you already know I'm praying for you. I love you so much.
Don't get me, first I was crying, laughing. Now I'm about to be crying. For real. Thank you. No, thank you so much, sis. I love you so much. And thank you, everybody, for watching. I'm so excited about what you are doing. It's a big, big season for you, and I'm excited about it all. And
thanks, you.
Till next time. Next week, we're going to be talking about multiple streams of revenue. So I'll see you same time next week.